and welcome to the shed. Today's video is part 3 in the Traveller's Tool Chest build. Today we're going to be putting the shelf in the top here, sorting out our top drawer from flip-flopping around when we open and shut it, and making the frame and panel lid, as well as doing a little bit of the finishing work of this carcass ready for the finish in the next video. So what I want to do, like we did in the last video, is just quickly go through a recap of what we did in the last week's video if you haven't seen that. The link is below if you do want to watch it. And then we're going to head over to the whiteboard and explain what we're doing with the frame and panel lid today for those of you that are not familiar with what a frame and panel construction is. So what we did in last week's video was made the locking bar, this bottom fascia piece with the locking housing pieces, line it all up, notched it out, and then we made these two trays that are acting as drawers while they're in here. We do still need to put a couple of little drawer pulls on them and give them a little bit of a finish so they actually slide much more freely. And we do have to sort out the tipping of this top shelf, and we'll sort some of that out in today's video. So I just wanted to quickly talk you through the construction. So we have the two side pieces here and these two that are the same. The reason I'm making them the same is it should help to resist twisting within the lid, so it's nice and thick edge around it. We have this piece that's actually smaller, and then I'm still not decided whether we're going to put plywood in the middle here or just create some raised panels. I'm thinking raised panels we're going to put in here, so we shape them down. So the way this whole thing gets constructed is we run a groove along here, a groove along here. We have a little stub tenon on these. If you want to make them stronger, you can actually run them into a bridle joint or a tenon that goes right through. For this, it's not that heavy duty an operation, so we're probably just going to use the little stub tenons that go in as deep as the groove. And then we obviously have to have a groove around all these pieces here. So what you can do is actually get the one piece, if these are all the same, run your groove down the entire piece to start with, or you can groove the smaller pieces afterwards. So the first thing we're going to look at is preventing this top one from tipping. So we want to be able to pull it out to sort of roughly here and not have it actually tip. We want it sort of supported like this. So in order to do that, it's a very sort of basic solution. I've just cut a couple of extra runners that are going to sit on top here. So they'll sit on top here, and as it comes out, just me holding one side, it's going to stop the thing tipping. Or at least, hopefully it does. So in order to keep a little bit of leeway on these so they don't jam, generally you could just use a playing card. I don't have a deck of cards out here, so just folded writing paper like this is usually enough gap to stop it expanding and jamming between the seasons, particularly if it's got finish on it, which this is all going to have a finish on it. So that's what we're going to do. I need to tip this up on its side and nail these on. So let's get that done, and then we can get into that top shelf. So now that we've got that in there, let's put this back in. And we can see, problem solved. So let's jump in the top here and have a look at the shelf. So you can see in here, what we're going to do is we're going to run a cleat that's hidden from the front. So we're going to run a cleat just here. Now, we could have had a fully dadoed end shelf here. I decided against that because I just wanted the whole thing to be a little more modular. If anything gets damaged, you want to change your layout on your actual drawer or whatever, your shelf, you can just knock it back out. If you want to change the height of it and have some extra space in the bottom for things, you can just knock it apart and sort of change it. So let's jump in, we'll get these cleats installed, get the shelf ready, and then we can just put it straight in and get to work on the lid. And we're going to attach them right on the very edge. So I'm purposely going to start with this one so I can line it up. So I'm using my finger behind it. So we need to do our little notch here before I do the rest of this shelf. So now we've got all that done. It took a little longer than I was expecting, but it's come up nice and good in the end. So let's get on and get this lid done. So in order to do the lid, I'm going to have to take real measurements off my case. Never take them off your plans, always take them off your project, because there's little movements and stuff that you've got to allow for. So it's just one of those things you've got to think about. Sit it on here in line with my stub tenons, which are the grooves on the side. Future me here. So I had some corrupted files that I realized while I was just editing this video up. So I've lost a bit of footage. You saw me cutting these stretches to length, but I lost the footage where we created the little stub tenons on the end of these pieces and actually fitting the plywood panels into this. So I just wanted to quickly talk you through what I did there. So we took these uprights, marked the depth of the groove that you saw me create using the tongue and groove plane. Then grabbed a marking gauge, took that marking, wrapped it around the edges of these, and then ended up cutting those shoulders out to create our stub tenons that are along the edge of every one of these pieces. I also cut this thin piece to length, which you didn't see, and ran 2 grooves in that and a little stub tenon on each of them. Then I took the markings from the depth of the groove on all sides and then cut out these panels to fit in here. I did, in the footage, actually make a mistake in doing the initial panels and measured them wrong twice and then cut them the wrong size and had to make new ones. So it's a pity that I lost that footage, because I like to share that with you. However, I just wasn't able to. So what we'll do now is just jump in and continue on with the build where you see me do the dust seals. So the next step is to attach the dust seal, which is going to be clamping in under the edge of this all the way around. So we've got 2 side pieces now. The side pieces are the exact same length as the lid, and we're going to add a dovetail to the 2 side pieces, and we'll have the tail board as this front piece. No particular reason, it just seems to me that kind of works best. Remember, if you're using a coping saw like this, make sure you angle it. See, that's coming together nice and tight there now. Now B, let's have a look. That's coming together nice and tight. Oh, too much. So now that we've got that done, we need to get the tool chest up here and actually do the corresponding mortises on the other side. It's still split it off. It's very precarious. And the moment of truth. This completes part 3 of the Traveller's Tool Chest build. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe down below. While you're down there, do sound off the comments if there's anything that I did here that maybe you wouldn't have done, or if you want some more explanation of something, do let me know down below in the comments. And if you'd like to see another great video such as the one you've seen here today, do check out the videos on screen.